There we go. Hello to our viewers. This is episode 2 of GamerDad Talk Show. I know I said I was going to go solo tonight, but I have a very special guest. My beautiful, wonderful wife, Emily. Emily,
I just gave you
Gamer
side
Mom.
eye.
Are you Gamer Mom?
I didn't mean to.
You must be Gamer Mom. So this is the Nick and our Gamer Dad and Gamer Mom talk show tonight. We've had so much going on this past week/weekend that we weren't really able to secure guests, but we'll talk about what's going on. We're going to talk about our whole year, why things are so nuts, the big changes we're going through with our family. We're going to talk about raising boys. We're going to talk about raising gamers. Some of the surprises Emily had when she didn't realize she was marrying a gamer. We'll talk about a lot of different things, but mostly we're just going to talk about whatever comes up. Normally we have questions, as you saw last week, kind of an interview style, but Emily and I are just going to chat. We've got big changes, big emotions. Hopefully we don't start bawling on camera, but Emily will be over there against the screen, so if she starts crying, you won't see it, and I'll cut to commercial or something if she gets too emotional. But say hi to everybody, Em.
Hi. I'm excited to be here. I would call me Reader Mom, not Gamer Mom.
Reader Mom.
We can talk about that too.
Yes, we can. All right, so tonight I'm going to be playing some some Elden Ring and some Destiny 2. Emily is going to be starting with Tetris, and when she gets lined out, she'll probably play some old school Mario.
What is lined out?
Just tired of looking at all the lines being cleared because you're so good.
I thought you meant like dying, because I die a lot.
Flat line?
Okay, flat line.
No, you're not. So we'll flip to our live stream here, which is going to be a new layout for tonight. Oh, not that one. We're going to do this one. There we go. So you can see what we're both playing. Emily, let's take it away.
Okay.
All right. So while you're getting reset up over there, how far back do we want to go? You know what? Let's just start with January 1st.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Oh boy.
We don't want to go back to the day we met and all that because, everybody will eventually be watching this. Starting out, we'll know. But we can we'll talk about what you do for a living and how you are basically our main breadwinner right now. But what happened on January 1st?
Well, we rung in the new year. It was a great night.
Great night.
Great morning. I actually was teaching that morning. I had a fun workshop planned for all the New Year's resolution folks.
Emily is a Pilates instructor for Body Bar Pilates.
Yes. And I was just, having my blissful January 1st morning. And when I finished teaching class, I looked at my phone and realized I had a couple texts from Nick. And the one that I read first was, "Everything's okay, but..."
Yes, all you future husbands out there, if you've got bad news, start with "everyone is okay." Unless everyone's not okay, get right to the point.
You said everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
So that's also code for something hit the fan. Give me a call so I can let you know what's happening. Yeah. So I went back into my office space and called Nick, and he let me know that our oldest son, he was 19 at the time, he's now 20. He had accidentally fired a firearm. Is that the word?
He done shot himself in the hand.
In the hand. He was looking at someone's firearm, didn't know it was loaded, wasn't told it was loaded, pointed it in some way at his hand. Oh, okay. So actually what Nick told me was Gabe was holding a firework Our son was holding a firework,
That
sorry.
is what we were told.
And it exploded in his hand. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, is he okay? And just getting all the details of that. It had happened right around midnight. This was like 11 a.m. on New Year's Day. So we were not called in the middle of the night or told
No.
anything. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been at work that day. So Gabe came home after he'd been in the ER after a couple hours and just like went to bed. So his friends took him to the ER. That was a story that he told the ER as well, because he wasn't certain at the time what would happen if he told the ER that he accidentally shot himself in the hand.
He was worried about police, jail
with another
time.
person's weapon, and
Yeah.
anyway,
He didn't know.
long story short, it required, so his metatarsal on his left pinky was shattered. No nerve damage, no tendon and ligament damage, which is kind of a miracle.
Yeah, this is all miracle number one for our family this year.
Anyway, we went to a hand surgeon the next day or two and had a plan for surgery. And it was just one of those things. So backtracking to the day that we found out.
Thankfully, the bullet went through the hand, into the ground.
Nobody was hurt.
Nobody was hurt.
Could have been so worse. These are all the things that we're talking about and that are running through our heads as parents, right?
Yeah.
But when we were talking to our son about it, you know, parenting is always an adventure. And when you are able to stay calm and think rationally, even when there are things that are really scary or unexpected happen, it feels like a parenting win, because they always are going to happen. That's just life.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. I wanted to freak out. I wanted to reprimand him, but what good would that do?
There was no point. He was pretty heartbroken about the choice.
Terrified to tell me. He was in so much pain. And all I could think of to say was just, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm sure it was absolutely terrifying. I'm glad you're okay. And I gave him a big hug. And he broke down a little bit. And, you know, we had a moment. He knew that he was in a safe place and that we were going to take care of him.
Yeah. So that was the similar conversation that I had with him. And I just, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes we learn from natural consequences, and he is an adult. So the natural consequence of that was, hey, this sucks. I'm glad you're okay. It could have been a lot worse. You are going to require some medical attention. And we, as parents, decided that we would let Gabe pay for the bills, the medical bills. I mean, he was covered under our medical insurance, but there's still a deductible. And of course, had just reset.
Yeah. January 1.
January 1. So anyway.
And this was coming out of a year that Emily had a $640,000 facial reconstruction that, you know, this whole thing would have been covered, and insurance, we would have just gone, drop in the bucket. But nope. Started fresh.
January 1st. Anyway, so later that day, Gabe came to us and said, I need to tell you what really happened. And then he told us that
it was not a firecracker.
It was not a firework, that it was a weapon, a firearm. So, of course, there is that shock of finding that out and just thinking of all the things that could have, all the different endings that could have played out. And we're, of course, very, very glad that he is okay. We expressed that at the time and continue to just be grateful for that.
Yeah.
So a couple, maybe 2 weeks later, I think it was still in January, wasn't it? He had surgery.
Yes.
On his hand. And he did physical therapy for several weeks. He wasn't able to work. He actually lost his job. He worked
at the depot.
At the Home Depot. And he wasn't able to work because he couldn't do anything with his hand. And his job was pretty physical. So anyway, just kind of a time of like, oh no, I'm dying. The heartbeat. Anyway, it was a time of just kind of reflection and just being patient and waiting for time to heal, as it does for Gabe. And he was home a lot, and it was hard on him and set him back in some of the goals he had financially. He was saving, okay. He was saving some money. His goal is to buy land and build a self-sustaining homestead on it. So
it's a pretty great plan.
It's
pretty lofty, and it's going to take a lot of saving and dedication. But you know, when Gabe sets his mind on something, he will accomplish it.
Anyway, so that was a setback for sure financially, but he was responsible and has paid all of his own medical bills. There's a few that I did help him out with. I think I accidentally paid one. I thought it was residual from my jaw, and
I remember that.
Or something from Nick had some knee surgeries last year too. We had a lot of surgery last year.
So many.
2003. Anyway, but one of those defining moments, you know, where I think he learned a lot about what he wants out of his life, and as we're young and think we're invincible, there is that realization that, oh, I am not immortal, or I can get hurt. So I think that was a learning, a part of that experience for Gabe as well.
Yes. And it was, like we said before, it was miraculous. It really was. We were told time after time, surgeons, people looking at it, they're just like, this is crazy. He will have a full recovery. He'll be fully mobile again. And his hand doctor was looking at it just like, if I were to injure my hand, this is exactly how I would want it to be. He's like, I would want, to just nothing but bone. Bone heals quickly and effectively. And he'll have some cool scars, but no permanent damage other than the scarring. And it's just like, wow.
So now 8 months later, his scars are actually very, he had a full reconstruction. He has a lot of metal in his hand. He had a pin, temporary, and then he has some hardware in his finger that kind of helped because the bone was just shattered.
Yeah. So you got a big old fat pin.
Had to do a bone graft from some donor bone material. Anyway, he is an avid musician. He plays the guitar, he plays the drums. He's very creative with, he creates art, lots of different mediums.
And he plays like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, he's regained all of his dexterity. He can even go climbing. There's like a little bit of, when he closes his hand, his pinky, he can't, I'll have to check the range of motion on that, but he was almost able to get it right next to his palm, which is pretty cool in that short amount of time. So he's worked really hard with recovery and strengthening the hand and working out the scar tissue, because the doctor did say there could be a lot of scar tissue that will bind up movement. So he's worked really hard to break that up. Gabe has.
So that was January 1. What happened a couple weeks after that? Somebody died. Let's go with deaths.
Okay, well, sadly, Nick's grandfather passed away in, I think it was the end of January, was it not?
Maybe the first week of February.
His funeral was the first week of February, and I'm not exactly sure of the day that he passed. But
might have been a week in there. We were also trying to plan Bingham's 8th birthday party and Simon's Sweet 16 birthday party, which was on February 14th.
Those are our two of our 4 children.
Yeah, and we wanted to do something fun and special for both of those things, just because they were milestone birthdays. And we let our boys do birthday presents or birthday parties every other year. So on odd or even years, right?
Even years, yeah.
And so, excuse me. So we're trying to, just kind of work out funerals / parties.
We had family in town for the funeral.
Yeah, lots of family. trying to not make them feel like things were being overshadowed. And then it was right after that our good friend, his dad, Dan Montague, his dad died. And it was that same weekend that I believe Brandon's dad died, right?
Yes, Brandon is Nick's brother-in-law,
Yeah.
his sister's husband.
Brother-in-law. And so we had all this horrible tragedy going on in our lives. Just a lot of stress. I was also having a lot of issues at work. And we were kind of fearful that I'd be losing my job because things weren't going well. And then we woke up one day to celebrate January 27th, which was what day, Emily?
February 27th.
February 27th.
So in 2023, February 27th was the day of my double jaw surgery, which was a big day. It was a surgery that was a long time coming. I needed for many, many years to reconstruct some damage from an injury in high school. Anyway, so that was a big milestone. And I remember coming into the kitchen, getting ready to leave for work early that morning. And Nick was just coming upstairs from his workout. And we just kind of passed on the way. And I said, "Hey, it's been a year since my surgery. That's pretty cool, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we kissed goodbye and celebrated for a moment, just in a small way. And then I was out the door to work. Oh dear, what did I just do? Yeah. So then what happened, Nick?
Then I went into the kitchen and I gave Bingo a big good morning hug. He was just eating his Nutella and toast and bananas. And I said, "Okay, Bingo, I'm going to get in the shower. I'll talk to you in a minute." So, walked to the shower. I was feeling great. I just had a really good exercise, nothing too strenuous, did some nice stretches. Feeling really good, just excited for my day. And I went into the bathroom, just about to get into the shower, when I got really dizzy. And I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? And I felt like if I were to continue in the shower, I might collapse into the shower. So I obviously took a step back, sat down on the toilet just to kind of regain my composure, when all of a sudden I felt a massive pop right here, right where my mic is, a little to the left, a little higher, in my chest, and I felt this massive pain go up through my shoulder, up my neck, and into my ear. I had no idea what happened. It was just a one-time burst, and then the pain kind of just felt like really bad reflux. I had bad metallic flavor in my mouth. I'm just like, oh gosh, So I stood up, popped some Tums in my mouth, which they're the nasty, chalky ones you get from Sam's Club, the
Fruit
flavored ones, the berry flavored ones. And I still can't eat them to this day because they're kind of triggering. But I tried to put some in my mouth. I stood by Emily's makeup counter and passed out. Fell right to the ground. And it was about 20 minutes later that it was right out of the movies. Just that breath of life kind of situation. I came to, and I was just drenched, and I couldn't tell if it was blood. I thought I'd fallen, thought I'd hit my head, and so I'm kind of feeling around, and it was just sweat. I was just sweating profusely. And I couldn't move. I was just kind of stuck on the floor, and I'm just like, the bathroom door was locked, my bedroom door was locked, I had music playing. I mean, I could sit there and try and scream for help, but Gabe was downstairs asleep. Bingham was, just
He was eating breakfast,
just eating breakfast, like I said. Yeah, and there was no one was coming to help. So I was like, okay, prayer time, time to plead and, try and see if I can get myself out of this mess. I mean, I'm sitting there in the buff, laying on the ground, and I'm like, okay, well, even if somebody had to bash the door in, I mean, they're just going to find my naked carcass here. So there goes my dignity. So I'm like, okay, God, if you're really truly there. I really need your help. Give me the strength to at least sit up and put on some shorts. And I mustered up all my strength, grabbed all that I could, and stood up and was able to get some shorts on. And I thought, well, okay, I've got enough strength to get up. I kind of just went into the bed and laid there for a minute. Was able to get to the door and called Bingham. And I said, Bingham, I need you to come here really quickly. Daddy's in really big trouble. Something's going on. I need you to come sit with me. Sat there for a moment, and it was time to call 911. So finally get on the phone. People are like, we're sending people on the way. They were so close. They were there within like 2 minutes. And it turns out, we live right by a fire station on 7200 South in Midvale. And the ambulance was just at the Tesoro right down the street getting some coffees and drinks, whatever, to get their day started. And they were there super, super quickly. And
Bingham was really brave and went and unlocked the front door so that when they came, they could come in, he could let them in. And then he also went downstairs and woke up Gabe, who was here, just hadn't woken up for the day yet, so that he could guide the paramedics.
Yes.
So we call Bingham the lifesaver of the house because he helped to save Nick's life.
That's right. They even threw him a little party at school, a little parade or something. Heroes party. So adorable. And let's just tell it chronologically. So what happened on your point of view at that situation?
So I work about 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 usually with traffic, from our house. And I had just walked through the door at work and I had a notification on my phone. I was just carrying it in my hand. And so I felt the buzz and I looked and it was our doorbell camera notification.
Which hadn't been working for years.
Yes, it hadn't been working. Well, it probably was several months. Yeah. I needed to have Nick log in. I'm not great at remembering logins and passwords. So somehow I had updated and I needed to log back in, and then the cameras weren't showing. So it was essentially useless, except the week before I happened to notice the app when, oh man. Oh, that was horrendous. I happened to notice the app, opened it up or whatever while I was sitting next to Nick. And so I was like, hey, while we're sitting here, can you fix the app so I can see? Because I still would receive notifications when we'd have doorbells ring, but I could never view the cameras or see what the notification was. It was just, it was just annoying notifications
at the door.
Yes. So couple days prior, I had Nick reset it and set everything back up. So it was working. So I looked down at my phone. I was like, oh, that's strange. It was about 8:15 a.m., which is a little bit early for people to be ringing the doorbell on a random Tuesday. So I thought, that's different. I wonder who it is. So I look at the doorbell camera and I see two adults on my front porch, and they were both wearing dark clothes, and my first instinct was I thought they were missionaries, maybe Jehovah's Witness missionaries, because they looked like they were wearing nice clothes, but they were both in black. And then they went inside. I saw them, like somebody had opened the door and they went in the house, and I was like, oh wow, okay, we're being social with the missionaries today. Good for Nick.
Nick must be feeling social.
So then the doorbell rang again, like maybe 30 seconds later, and it was a second set of adults. And when I looked at the camera this time, I could see behind one of the individuals that there was an ambulance in front of my house. And at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, something's wrong. And I was just about to step in to teach. My morning consisted of a couple classes back to back. But my sister, who also I work with, she was there. She had just finished her teaching block and she was just there to chat. She was actually, I think, going to stay and take my class, if I remember correctly. and she was there when I looked at the camera app, and I was like, I don't know why, I don't know what's going on, but there's an ambulance at my house and paramedics just went inside. And she said to me, just go, call your family on the way, just go, like, go figure out what's going on. I will just cover your classes. And she was worried, and I was worried, but I was like, thank you, I'm so glad you're here, thanks for staying. Otherwise it would have just been me there, and it would have been more difficult to just drop and leave. Classes would have had to been canceled, and people called, and I'm also the fitness manager, so all of that falls under my job. Anyway, I just needed to leave. So I ran out the door, and I hyperventilated a little bit on the way there because I started panicking. I wasn't sure at that point who the ambulance was for. And we had just come off of this experience with our oldest son. And so I had thought maybe something had happened with Gabe. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Painkillers, overdose.
Or some accident happened. I didn't know. Bingham was hurt. So I was trying to call Nick on my way back to my car.
I obviously wasn't answering.
I couldn't get a hold of him, which isn't super unusual because he usually has his phone on Do Not Disturb and silent.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, it's just I knew at that time he would be in the shower. Actually, by that time it was the time when you normally would have been taking our youngest son to school. So I thought to myself, okay, well, Nick is in the car, has just left to go take Bingham to school. So Gabe must have had an accident. I thought it was Gabe that was hurt, our oldest child. Yeah. So I just got in the car, started driving, kept trying to call Nick. I kind of like cursed him out in my mind a little bit for not answering his phone. I was like, come on, man. And then
Not the Fats Jacobs.
I got on the freeway. So this is probably 5 or 6 minutes after I left work. And Gabe called me. And I answered the phone and I was like, what's going on? I saw the ambulance. I am on the freeway right now. Where do I need to go? Should I come home? Does somebody need my help? Should I go to a hospital? And Gabe was like, it's going to be okay, but everyone's okay. But Dad is having something wrong with his heart. We didn't know what was happening at the time, but we knew it was something going on with his heart. So he said, I think I'm going to just take him to the hospital. And I said, okay, well, please go to St. Mark's. That is the hospital in our network, our insurance network. And I'll meet you there. I'll just head right there. He's like, okay. And I was like, are you okay? And he told me he was. And I just was like, okay, be safe. And then I started driving to the hospital. So, do you want me to keep going?
No, we'll go back to my part of it.
Okay.
So, I seriously had no idea what was going on. The paramedics came in, saw that I was sitting up, able to talk, but when they started asking me what my symptoms were, they knew it was not a heart attack, that it was something more serious. They didn't realize how serious it was until they tried to take my pulse, they tried to get a reading on me, and they just couldn't. They're just looking at me like, we just got to get you to the hospital. And I said, well, my son's here, he can take me, and we should be okay. And she's like, no, I need to press upon you the importance that you come with us and we leave right now. I'm like, okay, that's, I can't argue with that. Someone who knows better than I do, who's looking at me, and, she was worried. So throw me on the stretcher. I forgot, back up just a little bit. When I woke up on the floor, I had opened the bathroom window. It had snowed that night. It was wonderful, beautiful, fresh snow, but it was really cold. And I'd opened the window to let the steam out of our bathroom because we don't have a fan in there, blah, blah. So that cold air kind of helped, me wake up. And they took me out the front door. I didn't have a shirt on.
Just in shorts.
Just in shorts. Yeah.
At least he was in shorts.
At least
could have been nothing.
Could have been nothing. I'd hope they would have thrown a blanket over me. And so we open the front door, that big blast of fresh air hits me, wakes me up, gets my heart racing again. And then we get into the worst ride I've ever been. I've never been in an ambulance before, and so being my first, I guess it could have been better, but we looked at the routes. The fastest way there from our house is just up 9th East. And at the time, and I mean, it still might even be under construction, it was under construction. It was so bumpy, it was so violent that we were literally just laughing in the back of this ambulance ride of how insanely ridiculously bumpy it is. I thought the doors were going to burst open, and right out of the movies, my gurney was going to just go flying down the street with me attached. And it was literally like somebody was just shaking me the entire time, saying, "Don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, just stay awake," as if I had a choice. But she was, I forget the guy's name, Todd or whatever. She's yelling up to him. She's like, "Todd, can we get a smoother ride?" And he's like, "I am so sorry. Every time I dodge a pothole, I hit another one." And he's just like, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Jacobs. We're going to get you there in one piece, I swear." And we get to the hospital finally. And of course, just as I'm kind of starting to fade, they can't really get a good reading on me again. They open up those doors, and big burst of cold air hits me in the face, wakes me up again. Don't fall asleep. And they finally get me into the OR. Or, excuse me, just into the ER.
Emergency room.
And it was really shortly after that Emily arrived with Gabe. You guys didn't arrive together. You just were really arrived at the same time. Gabe had run Bingham to school just so Bingham didn't have to worry about it. And, there's
have
nothing
a little
you could
bit
do.
of a normal day.
Yeah.
And Gabe knew that he needed to be at the hospital.
Yeah. And then Emily came walking in. And why don't you tell me your side of the story from that point?
I mean, I looked at my husband and he looked gray. His skin was gray. His face was gray. But he's sitting there cracking jokes with people, which is normal for him. And I just remember saying, "What's going on? What happened? Are you okay? What's all the drama about?" I was kind of teasing him. And then
We still didn't really know how serious and dire
nobody
it was.
really knew or was gonna say exactly what they thought was going on. I got there right before, I believe they took you into a CT scan.
Yeah.
So they said, "There's something going on with his heart. We think we know what's going on, but we're gonna go to a CT scan." So I couldn't go. I stayed there, and just like right at that time, Gabe got there as well, our oldest son. And so they took Nick, and I kind of lost it a little bit, and Gabe was there just to give me a hug, and he was so calm. He was exactly the person that you want to have in a crisis. He was calm, and he was keeping me calm. And not 5 minutes later, they brought Nick back.
And so quick.
It was very quick because they discovered that he had blood everywhere when they did the CT scan. And what they suspected was,
in fact, what?
In fact, correct, that he had an aortic aneurysm. His upper aorta had exploded.
Completely ruptured.
He's ascending, right? Is that what it is?
The 2 centimeters, which is about 5 inches. From the valve coming right out of the heart, going up and over the heart to the back. 2 centimeters is
not 5 inches. Is that what you just said?
Other way around. 5 centimeters, 2 inches.
Okay. I'm like, those are two different things.
Thank you. It was about 1.5 feet.
He had a very large rupture in his aorta, and they needed to do emergency open heart surgery. So at that point, they started to tell me, "You need to say goodbye to your husband if he makes it out of this surgery, it's a very risky surgery. There's a great likelihood that he won't survive, and if he does, there's a high potential for brain damage because he will have been deprived of oxygen and has been for such and such amount of time. And I'm
almost an hour really by the
I'm
time
trying to I'm just trying to process all that because he was still talking and, like I said, cracking little jokes. I mean, he was clearly unwell and he did not look good, but he was fully coherent for the most part, able to form sentences. I think I said something as they were wheeling you into the surgical area, like tell us a joke or something, and he did.
Yes,
Do you remember that?
I said horse and boar.
Oh yeah, which is an old family joke that everybody hates, but we keep telling.
And I'm so glad those weren't my last words. So
yes.
glad.
So Nick started saying goodbye to me at that point, and he was like, "I've had a great life. I love you." And I was like, "What?" I could not really process. I was not able to process at the speed that the situation was happening. And so I was still trying to process all that the surgeon, or the ER doctor had told me. The nurse was there. I had to sign all these papers, these release forms, all this stuff. And I couldn't even understand what they were telling me to sign. Gabe was like, "Mom, sign here. Mom, put your name here. Put Dad's name here." I'm so glad Gabe was there. We had this brief moment right before they took him into surgery. There was just like one nurse getting him ready, getting all the monitors and everything ready to go. And Gabe said, "Mom, don't you want to say a prayer with Dad before he leaves?" Which I wasn't in the mind of even able to think of that. And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And so we all held hands and I said a prayer and just asked for the best outcome we could have, and that everything would go okay and that the team would know how to help Nick. And it just felt like a really quick moment of peace in what had been chaos all morning. So I remember thinking, if I say goodbye to him, I'm admitting defeat and I'm letting him know that it's okay to die, and I'm not okay with that. So I was not at all wanting to hear goodbye. And I don't think I was rude to you, Nick, but no, I was not willing to say goodbye to you.
That's exactly how I felt. I was surprised that you acted that way, because I mean, nobody wants to simultaneously say goodbye and don't die. Just suck it up and live for the sake of all of us.
I didn't say those words,
no,
but I was
you were thinking it.
If I say to him goodbye, I'm giving him permission to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not okay with that.
Oh,
and it was probably a really selfish thought and response, but I felt really strongly that I could not say goodbye to you for whatever reason, and so I didn't. And I was like, you're going to be okay. I don't even think I said that. I didn't know what to say.
No.
I didn't say any of the right things.
But what are the right things?
But Gabe did remind me to say a prayer, and I am so grateful for that. And then I asked you to tell a joke.
And then it was just really dumb, and then they took me away.
Yep. And as they were wheeling him away, and my mom got there at that point because
that's right.
I'd called her on the way to the hospital. Just kind of unlike me. I'm just independent that way, and don't always think to call the people that need to know things.
You're not a run home and cry to mama kind of girl.
Not that my mom and dad aren't great. It's just me. It's just the way I am. So I called her and I told her what was happening. It was before I knew who was hurt. And I just said, "I'm just going to the hospital. I think I did know it was you." And I said, I don't know what's going on, but I need to go. And she was like, okay. And then we hung up on the phone. I was still driving at that point. She called me back within a minute and was like, Emily, I'm just going to come to the hospital. I'm actually on my way to Salt Lake anyway. She was also coming to my Pilates class.
It's amazing how many people were just in the right place at the right time to be there for us.
And she walked in right at that moment, and I kind of lost all my emotions. I just needed to have a hug from my mom. So glad she was there. And then also just Gabe was there, and it was very scary.
I mean, and just continuing about people who are there, one of the number one surgeons in the Western United States was on call that day. Well, not on call.
For this particular surgery.
Yeah, he was doing, he just had his scheduled surgeries there, ready to take care of his people. And I came in.
They were all set up for scheduled surgeries that weren't necessarily emergencies.
Yeah.
But they were timely.
And he bumped all of them. He pulled in his crack team, and he just said, I know all of you are here for different surgeries, different patients. And he says, but we're moving them all, and today we're going to save this man's life. And it wasn't really till I heard him say that the words, save your life, you're dying, really were in my mind.
Kind of sunk in a little bit.
Yeah. So that's when it got really real for me. And then, before he went back, he said, Mr. Jacobs, this is an incredibly risky surgery. It does not have a high success rate. This might be the last time you ever get to see your wife and children. Now's the time to tell them goodbye. And
nobody told me that.
Nobody told Emily that.
Just Nick started saying goodbye to me, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to go. We got kids to raise.
She was just kind of talking to the other nurses, talking with her mom, with Gabe, and just trying to, process what was going on. And I had heard that, and I just started telling her, I'm just like, thank you for a wonderful life. You complete me. I don't remember saying anything too cheesy.
You said, I've had a wonderful life. Thank you. I love you. You talked about how great your life was, how you had no regrets and you felt at peace. And I was like, I
don't.
Yeah.
So
you were very calm.
Yeah.
Whether it was shock or just acceptance or I don't know.
Above.
I felt like you were accepting it, and that's why I was like, nope, I'm not saying goodbye. Because he's already decided it's okay, but I don't accept that.
So Nick Jacobs signing off.
Yeah. And then the next few things that ran through my head was, how am I going to tell my kids this? How do I give this news to my kids? How do I even tell them their dad's in emergency open heart surgery and he might not live? And your goodbye to him this morning, if they even did say goodbye, was it. And you need to come to the hospital and wait now. I didn't know how to do any of that. And that's when I really started to panic, because the weight of that message is heavy. Telling people who love, I don't know how doctors and medical professionals do it, but that felt unbearable.
Applause to them.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do it. And I mean, I didn't. I actually didn't. Gabe said, Mom, I will call Simon and Ian and I will tell them what's happening and I'll tell them to come here. And he also then went and picked up Bingham, because we just felt like we needed to be together. We had a couple hours to wait during surgery, but I felt like they needed to know at least what was going on, even if they could do nothing but sit and wait. I didn't want to leave them at school in, what's the word I'm looking for? Ignorance, you know?
Yeah.
I felt like they needed to know. So Gabe took care of it all. I was so grateful for him.
We were
I am
amazed
still.
how he stepped up and just said, I got this. I got this, Mom.
Yeah, and he did. He had it all. And then the word just slowly got around. We didn't have cell service in the ER at all. It was like just SOS symbol. So I was trying to figure out how to, I didn't want to leave the hospital, but I needed to call Nick's parents, and I needed to tell his siblings, and I basically wanted to like start the prayer chain of the world and get the whole world just praying that, you know, I don't know, praying for a miracle. I wanted everyone to know that needed to know. People that know and love Nick, which is a lot of people. So
I appreciate that.
everyone helped that. Gabe helped. I kind of just started a group thread with a few of our friends once I had service in our neighborhood. Good friends of Nick's, people that he serves with in our religious community. And the word got around really fast, so I instantly started to get lots and lots of texts. And actually, I had his phone as well, and it started getting text after text after text. Are you okay? I heard something's wrong. What's going on? They didn't know that he was in surgery, obviously. So we just sat and waited, and
5 hours later, I woke up to my wife and my dad and my bishop, and I thought, well, you guys aren't my dead grandparents, so I guess I survived. And then I realized how much pain I was in, and how long of a
thirsty you were,
how
and
thirsty I was, and
he was begging for ice or water, and we couldn't give him anything because they were worried about him aspirating vomit. He had just come out of anesthesia, and it took him a long time to wake up, longer than they wanted. And they had just pumped your stomach too, because he had some food or liquid before surgery, because he didn't know he was having emergency heart surgery that morning. So he'd eaten, it was a protein shake or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, I survived. Bottom line. I mean, we basically
He defied all the odds in every way and survived. And now we
don't know why it happened. We don't really know I survived, other than I've been able to witness so many wonderful things since then. Other than the fact that the day I came back to my job, which I thought was waiting for me, they let me go. Day one of coming back. So that was such fun to find out that not only did I, survive this horrendous thing, but now I've got to deal with unemployment and trying to find a job and all the wonderful stresses that come with being unemployed. So that was a great how do you do. But we're alive. We're okay. I mean, what's the alternative to all that? I could be dead, and I'm not. So I will take it. So then what happened next, Em?
in our lives.
In our lives.
I mean, we've just had lots of milestones. Our second oldest son graduated from high school. He is serving a mission right now. Actually, just started yesterday. But he received his mission call, which was exciting.
Got to take my son through the temple, ordain him to be an elder.
Just have had lots. Our youngest son was baptized. We've had lots of celebrations and milestones and just big family things that I'm so grateful that I didn't lose my partner to share those moments with.
Agreed. 100%. It's been such a momentous year, but this last weekend was Ian's farewell.
Farewell is in our church where a person leaving on their mission gets to get up and speak to our congregation, and
before they leave for 2 years on lengthy quest.
He's
Ian
going
is
to Argentina.
Cordoba, Argentina, which apparently is beautiful.
It's the beef capital of the world.
The beef capital of the world.
He's very excited about that. He thinks steak is on the menu every meal, and it might be.
It might be. He keeps saying that as if he knows anything, but we might be really surprised to be like, told you, everybody has 5 cows and they take a chunk out every night.
Ew. I don't think that's how it works.
I mean, in their freezer, not alive.
Okay.
I mean, what do I know? Maybe that's how they do it in
No, it's not.
Argentina. Just go grab a slab.
I'm pretty sure you know that.
Anyway, so it's been a super eventful weekend.
I've had a lot going on this year.
Yeah, that's
the weekend before our oldest son actually moved out as well. He and his friend are renting an apartment together, and so it's his first place.
For anybody who doesn't know, the housing prices rental prices.
The whole world is, but it's bad in Utah.
It's so bad in Utah. People are just like, I mean, how many people do we know are just like combining households? People are moving in with each other, like generational families. It's becoming so much more common among even, non-ethnic cultures. It's just out of necessity because of how blasted expensive things are.
I don't actually know anybody that's doing that.
Well, I know 19.
Do you know?
I've just heard a couple of people mention it. Just in the past few months talking about it, it's just been crazy. But so Gabe is moved out, and we've done so much for Ian, getting him mission ready, buying suits and shoes and shorts and shirts and short shirts and
things he needs for 2 years.
Everything he needs.
Clothes.
We wanted to make sure Gabe felt that he was being supported and loved too. So Emily went and spoiled him rotten.
Well, I mean, it was his first place. He needed things. He needed like plates and cups and silverware, and we bought as much as we could secondhand, and then.
Which was excellent in one way because it was a good eye opener for him to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much I actually needed. And
he still has a very sparse apartment, but he has the bare necessities.
Yes.
And I bought him things like cleaning supplies, a vacuum, a broom, ice cube trays, just like all that little stuff that you need. So I did the mom thing, and I spoiled him with all the things. Not spoiled him, but I bought him like a toaster and a mini blender and just laundry detergent and a scrub brush. So that he could take care of his house.
Right? I mean, every little thing that you threw in that cart, he was just like,
it was fun.
Oh yeah, I need that. Oh yeah.
It was fun, and he was excited and grateful, and their apartment is perfect for them. It's not too far away, so Gabe and his roommate is always invited as well. They can come for dinners. Our door is always open to anyone, especially our children. So he's even come and raided our groceries a few times.
With our permission.
With our permission. He always asks. But it's like, yeah, groceries are expensive, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So big life milestones. Our third son is starting his junior year on Monday. And our youngest son is starting 3rd grade next week.
Wasatch Academy. New school. He's been a little nervous about it, but it is such a cool place. I mean, tell our listeners why it's so cool, Emily. I mean,
it's a pretty cool school. It's a charter school, and they follow a Waldorf model, which is an education model that's more popular, I would say, in Europe and outside of the U.S., but it's essentially the goal is to keep children for as long as possible, meaning giving them the chance to be and play like kids. So the curriculum is pretty opposite of what the U.S. education system is driven towards, which is STEM and testing and things like that. They still have to hold the standardized testing because it's federal law, but they don't put a huge emphasis on it, and emphasis. It's whole brain education. So
whole grain
whole
education.
brain.
Whole
They
brain
are developing
education.
the whole brain. So they will work on small, like gross motor skills, fine motor skills. They learn how, he's going to learn how to crochet this year as part of his curriculum, because that is a motor skill that is effective at helping the rest of the brain just develop normally too. So there's, of course, academics. He'll do reading and math and science and all the things. They also have
Snacks.
an outdoor, oh my gosh, snacks are
The
great.
snack thing is like the coolest thing.
Well, there's a lot cool about the school.
Well, it's like,
so I'm going to keep telling it, and then we'll get to snacks.
Because it's just cool. It's called the Hearth.
The philosophy
and it's awesome.
is exactly, I went to school to be an early childhood educator, and the philosophy lines up exactly with how I was educated in my college education. And it's basically, I mean, if you study child psychology or child education, you study Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and that he was a psychologist who said that there is an order of needs that need to be met in order for children to effectively feel safe and learn. And it starts with feeling safe and having food. So safety and shelter and food. That's like the base of the pyramid. If that need has not been met, then they can't get anywhere else. That will be a stumbling block for them. So, I mean, there's other things too. They need emotional support. As the pyramid gets higher, it's a pyramid of needs. It gets more detailed, right? They need to have like educated teachers and things like that, and nurturing environments. But like the bottom line is if they're hungry or they don't feel safe, they can't learn. And it's true. I've seen it. Because that is a basic human need, and that's all you can focus on if you don't have it being met.
Emily has her degree in early childhood education, has been an educator her whole career.
In some capacity.
Yes, in many different capacities. She's well versed in this stuff, so she's my go-to. I just say, "Can you explain that thing to me again?"
Anyway, at this
says, "Yes,
school,
dummy."
they have their classrooms are arranged like in little communities. I think of it as like a shape of a flower. So the center of the flower, like architecturally, they're built around this center community area, and then the classrooms are separate off of this center area. So the center community area is called the Hearth, and there is an adult who is paid to be there all the time. It's called the Hearth Leader. And they are there to basically be an aid for anything that the students may need extra assistance with. So if somebody's struggling in class and needs extra time on an assignment, the teacher may say, hey, go out and work with the Hearth Leader at the Hearth. There's a comfortable place with tables and chairs. There's actually like a little kitchenette there.
She'll make them a taco.
They cook something. The Hearth Leader will cook something every day. So it will be something nourishing, like it will be like fresh bread or
not tacos.
A bowl of a pot of seasoned rice. They'll just have
so cool.
Something there. Could be oatmeal, could be a lot of different things, but they're like a no sugar school, so they don't serve they're not gonna have like candy there.
Yeah, they're hardcore with it too. Did you read all the documentations, like what to pack with for your child's lunch?
Oh yes, you're not supposed to pack.
What not to pack for your child's
Yes, they're
lunch.
very specific, and I think it's challenging, but it's good for them. So we're willing to make that extra effort.
100%.
Not that we are being critical of anyone. I mean, we eat tons of sugar, but at school, he won't take sugary snacks and sugary lunches. He'll have different lunches. He can also purchase lunch. They're like gourmet meals. Anyway, there's a Hearth Leader. They can go out and get extra help with something. If they're hungry, they can go and have a snack. If they're stressed or just needing like a moment to reset, they can go out Essentially, if they're causing chaos in the classroom and the teacher needs a reset, they can also go out and calm down with the hearth leader. So it's not supposed to be a punishment. It's just a place to safely regroup, get something done, maybe get some food, and then you go back to class as soon as you can, of course. But it's meant to keep it so that the rest of the class can still learn as well. Everybody gets to learn. So that's a good thing. They also have a huge outdoor vegetable garden, flower garden, and the kids actually work in the garden every day. Some of the produce they'll harvest and they use in the food that the hearth leader will make. They have different festivals. They have a harvest festival in the fall that's like community-wide. It's a pretty big deal apparently, and really fun. And they will use the produce to make things and sell for this festival. So anyway, the kids work in the garden. They spend a ton of time outside, rain or shine. The only reason they don't go outside every day is if there is lightning within a 5-mile radius or if it's a red quality air day, which does happen a fair amount, sadly, in the Salt Lake Valley.
Yeah,
especially in the wintertime. But they go out even if it's snowing or raining, so they have to be prepared with adequate clothes. We have to send him in snow clothes and raincoat and galoshes if it's a rainy day or potentially a rainy day. And then all the kids need to bring a set of inside shoes that they just keep at school. So if the weather's poor when they come in, all the kids change out of their wet shoes, their snow boots or galoshes or whatever, and then they can put on their dry shoes so that keeps the school a little cleaner. And if you've ever taught elementary school, you will know that there is a certain smell that occurs after sweaty, wet recess. It's gross. So that was my least favorite part, probably. Not real. I mean, it's not that big a deal, but it is kind of gross. It's just the school smell. You get used to it because they go out and play and they get hot and sweaty and there's dirt and rain and all those wonderful things. So it can get a little fragrant in the classroom. But anyway, apparently that helps. So he's starting next week and he's super excited and he gets to choose a sort of choose your own adventure for his PE. Instead of just having like the regular PE where you kind of do a little of everything, he'll get to specialize in something he chooses. So they offer, I think it's basketball and volleyball and soccer. Archery is one of the choices. He was hoping for fencing. He really wants to learn to sword fight, but that's not a choice.
Is that like anywhere?
No, I think I accidentally said fencing, but I meant archery one day, and that has not left his brain. So we may have to put him into private fencing lessons because he's very excited about learning how to sword fight. Anyway,
I was wondering where he got that.
That's where it was me accidentally. So yeah, it's a bit of it's going to be a big change for our family. We all signed an agreement that we will be screen free during the week, at least when we're around our son. He won't be watching TV or movies or video games during the school days, and then on the weekend
he'll get his fix in every weekend.
Yeah, you can watch screens on the weekend and it's just during the week.
And a lot of the other parents have admitted they do quite a bit of binging on the weekends, but it does make them more selective of what they watch.
Yeah, because you got to make it count.
Yeah, you got to make it count. You want to watch the best of the best. So,
and it's honestly going to be good for us too, because that mindless pick up your phone and open social media while people, humans that you love, are sitting next to you. Hopefully we'll eliminate some of that and pay more attention to the people in the room and just be a little more present. So it'll be a work in progress, but it's a good thing.
Or you can learn to play video games with your back towards each other and broadcast it to the world.
Well, I mean, that is a little bit of a problem. You have this show every Tuesday, so
Yeah, but he's in the other room, and
you'll
he'll just
have
have
to,
to read a
yes,
book.
he'll just have to be, or he'll, be at fencing lessons or something.
Because that is a thing.
It probably is.
Oh,
I just need to
geez.
find it.
All right, I think I'm going to switch over to Destiny. Did you want to switch games?
No,
Or
I'm
you're still
fine.
good?
My eyeballs haven't glazed over yet.
Oh, good.
I'm not getting any better though. I seem to have hit a Tetris wall, but it's fine. I'll just keep dying.
What mode are you even playing?
I think it's just marathon.
So, what is it about Tetris that you just love so much? It's like Emily's favorite game. I could get her to play it anytime, night or day.
Unless my eyes hurt. It really
That's true.
typically starts to hurt my eyes after probably about this long. I'm surprised my eyes don't hurt.
Yeah, this is like the longest you've played straight in forever.
I don't know.
Maybe
It's
there's enough light.
satisfying. I don't think it's really fun. I mean, it's not bad.
Is it just like a chore that you actually enjoy doing?
It's kind of like checking off a list, I love that. So I make a line, and that's like checking something off my list.
Okay.
I do enjoy it. But I don't crave it. Like, I don't want to I can't wait to do that again. It's something to do to pass time. And
But
sometimes,
you get pretty competitive, especially in competition mode.
yes.
You'll yell and scream and punch and kick chairs.
Oh my.
Okay, she doesn't get that bad, but you do enjoy
I can
good
trash talk
competition. Yes.
when the teenagers are activated.
Oh, yeah.
Because they trash talk, so I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
It is fun to dominate your children in something.
This is
And
true.
if I can win Tetris, then I feel a little bit cool.
Yeah.
Often I don't win, though. It's hit and miss. I kind of have to warm up my fingers, and then I have a window of time where I'm good, and then I just start becoming real bad real quick.
Yeah.
So it's short-lived.
I do like, that it's something that we are all just as good at as each other. And it's really anybody's game when we are playing.
I mean, are we all just the same good at it? Because I think I'm pretty good.
I obviously hold my own. Gabe can hold his own pretty well, too. He wins quite a few rounds.
Yeah,
as well.
Gabe's pretty good at it.
Ian's pretty good. Simon's pretty good when we can get him to play.
Simon's not a big fan of Tetris. Bingham, for a long time, thought the goal was to fill the screen as fast as you can. So he would always be winning real fast. And he, when we play in a group of us, when you die, aka win for Bingham.
Yes.
I
win.
You just have to wait till everybody else dies too. So he was like, I keep winning, but then I don't get to play anymore, and you guys do. So I mean,
and then I sit here for 20 minutes.
It took him a little while to figure out. We
As a
tried to
winner.
teach him, but he just thought it was more cool to just fill the screen with blocks and squares and just make a tall tower instead of trying to eliminate the lines. So he's now grasping. He understands the concept now.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes it though as much.
No, he will. He will.
He will. It's just something that we can do. I like that you can. I'm not someone who can talk if I'm playing. Well, there's a very few games I actually can play well, and most of them came out before 1990.
This is true.
I cannot grasp the idea of one trigger stick. Is that what they're called?
Oh, the
Joystick?
yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I mean, there's everybody calls them something different depending on like if you're an Xbox or PlayStation. They're sticks. Left stick,
Sticks.
right stick.
So I cannot
Joystick.
quite get the idea. I cannot get the coordination of walking with one and looking with the other. So, for instance, Destiny, I've tried to play A few times. I've tried. I really have.
You really did. You gave it the old college try
I
once,
did.
and after about an
No,
hour.
I've tried twice. It's
Well, the
usually
first one
Christmas
was a little
break,
weak.
and
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
okay, fine. This is your Christmas present. I'll try it again.
Get a yearly try.
I've tried it a couple times, and I can do it, but not very successfully, and it just kind of annoys me, and it's very, I can't do it mindlessly. I have to really think about what direction I'm pushing the stick
Yeah.
to move, and then where do I need to look? And oh shoot, I'm looking at the floor, but I'm walking to the right. That's not gonna help me, and then I die. So, and I just don't care about, there's no investment for me in any of the games to learn that. But I do like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And I do like Tetris.
What else have you played that you
I
actually
played
like?
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
I do love Animal Crossing.
Yes.
But you know, once you build the world and you have it all, it loses its luster. Bingham wants to reset our world and rebuild it. And I am fine with that, but he told me you said no.
No, I just wanted to make sure. And actually, if you guys want to go to my YouTube channel, we did a full 40-minute walkthrough of our entire island, and you will see the insanity. When I get a little, bee in my bonnet with something like this, you'll just see what we did.
Yeah, so it was my game.
It was her game.
It's called The Island We Live On is Xanadu because that's my favorite movie from 1980 with Olivia Newton-John. But Nick started playing it, and then it was all him. He took it over. There's a little bit of hard feelings about it still.
Really? I didn't know.
I mean, it just became his thing, and then I was like, what the heck? And I wanted to share it with you.
Everything I wanted to do, I asked, can I do
You're right.
this?
But then you would give me assignments like, hey, I need you to do this. I set you all up. I need you to do this. And it just became obnoxious. I didn't even want to play it anymore.
Oh, I ruined it. Okay, we will start over and I will do nothing. I will do my little corner that you can assign me and I'll touch nothing else.
I just don't think we're evenly matched because I don't even think that will be fun. Because then
I think it means hands off is what she's trying to say.
What's going to happen is your side of the island will be this incredible Elon Musk creation, and then mine will be a shanty.
But it will be your
with cockroaches.
It will be
because I don't play it often enough to keep the roaches away.
Yeah. Every time we go back to it, we spend 2 hours just killing roaches.
Well, maybe not that long, but there's some roaches.
They don't hurt anything. They're just so unsightly.
The other thing is, every time I play it, it's so relaxing to me that I just start to rest my head and then I fall asleep.
Next thing I know, I'm sound asleep.
Doesn't matter what time of day. It makes my eyes heavy. It's really hard for me to stay awake very long if I play Animal Crossing.
This is true. And
actually, I'm a big reader, which is why at the beginning I said I should be reader mom, not gamer mom, because that is my geeky passion.
But it is fantastic that Emily can sit right next to me for hours while I play for hours, and she can read for hours. We don't have to talk or interact for hours.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be on all the time.
Can't be on all the time.
I love being married to you, but it's nice to just have you have to have a thing that just
we have our thing.
Helps you to kind of unwind.
It's nice we can do our thing right next to each other, so we can be in proximity without bothering one another. I can put headphones on even, and obviously I'm not looking over her shoulder.
You just made it all so uncool. Not that it was really cool.
Reading was never cool.
I mean, you just made us sound like old people.
Oh, we are old people.
We don't go out to
So it is 2024, October. In a few months, we will be celebrating 24 years of marriage, 24 years of bliss. Some would say 10 years of good marriage.
Oh, rude.
I'm teasing. I would
it's
never
all
say
been
that.
good.
Wonderful.
There have just been lots of different
Ups
phases
and
stages, and I mean, if we want to talk about the fact that I didn't even know you played video games when we got married, we could go there.
We had other things to do when we were first married.
We got married
that was
pretty fast, too.
far more fun than playing video games.
Know each other for what, more than 5 months on our wedding day? 6 months. It was pretty quick. So there's some things I didn't know. And I remember we got our first apartment and Nick moved in first. I was living with my parents just until the wedding, and Nick moved in to kind of hold the apartment for a couple weeks. And he moved in, and we bought a TV, or you had a TV, maybe your parents gave it to you. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a big old square CRT 32-inch beauty, weighed about 900 pounds.
What's a CRT?
The big old giant TVs from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Okay.
Everything that was before flat screens.
Well, I know we got a TV for our wedding, but you had something before then.
I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You're talking.
All I remember is that he moved in, had a TV. He and his mom picked out a couch and a rug without me for our first apartment, and I was very unhappy about that.
She was a little peeved.
Well, I did not have any say in the color scheme. Wasn't even asked to go, which fine, I understand that you maybe wanted to have some time with your mom.
That's what it was all about.
But I felt like I should have been included in the decision-making process
100%.
of our furniture. That's how I felt. Anyway, also, the rug had orange and brown in it. It was not my taste at all.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't think about you in the slightest when I looked at it.
It didn't remind you of my eyes, my orange eyes.
Here, I believe
burnt sienna.
Burnt sienna is
eyes.
the official name.
Anyway, so I walked
burnt
into our apartment.
sienna
He moved in. He had a TV. He had a rug and a couch that I didn't pick out for my future home. And
it is still in the hallway to this day.
A PlayStation 1. And
Oh,
I was like,
PS1.
oh, you play video games? That's cool. My parents have a PlayStation. I like to play, what was that game where you could bike or snowboard or skateboard?
Oh, gosh.
SDX?
Well, there was SSX.
SSX.
But that was all snowboarding. But there were other ones that exactly we were talking about. I can't remember what it was called right now.
It was whatever came with the PlayStation 1 as like the sample game. So wasn't it SSX?
No, that was just snowboarding.
I'm pretty sure that was the game. Anyway, my best friend had that in high school. My parents had a PlayStation, and that was a game we had. So I was like, oh, that's fun. I like to do that sometimes. And so I thought that would be
I've
cool.
done that before.
And then I learned that he's a gamer. And I was not.
You were not prepared for
I was
that.
not sure how to handle that.
Because it was way too late. We were already committed.
I mean, it was never too late, but it was just a lot for me to process. I did not understand the time, how you could spend that amount of time gaming. And I viewed it, I'll be honest, as a waste of time. I thought it was a waste of time.
Well, let's talk about what our weekends looked like, though. Because...
Well, I worked.
And
you stayed home.
And did my homework.
Yeah, but you didn't work on the weekend.
No.
I worked Friday and Saturday.
I slaved all my days throughout the week while my wife partied it up at school.
Okay, let's be real.
There's a reason why we call her my sugar mama.
Nick had a job where he could only work 20 hours a week. He was working at a design firm, and that's all they could give him. So
Instead of finding a second job on the weekends, I decided to stay at home,
games.
do homework, and play video games.
And I worked, and then I did my homework late Sunday night because...
Well, it's not like you were there till midnight. We just partied, and I wanted to party and hang out with my new wife.
Yeah.
It was highly lopsided. And I realize this now. At the time, I'm surprised you didn't leave me.
Anyway.
No comment.
No, I mean...
Yeah, me neither.
They're, what do you want me to comment?
I don't know.
I didn't mind. I liked my job, but I did work. I got a lot of hours in on the weekend. I worked at used car lot, my uncle's used car lot in college. And so it was a great way to earn extra money because they were open all weekend. Well, Saturday, they were closed on Sunday. Anyway, I worked every other Saturday, I think. I would rotate.
She worked hard for our money. Kind of like you do now. While your husband stays home, plays video games. Oh my gosh, we are full circle. But now I cook and clean and take care of kids and figure out our teenagers' situations and fix cell phones and billing and pay that kind of crap.
Nick is doing unpaid labor, which is what the stay-home parent does.
Yes, it is.
So it's hard work. I did it for a lot of years, different times of my life. And right now I work full-time. I have a really great job that I love. I'm a fitness manager at a Pilates studio, and that requires me, I teach classes. I also coach the other teachers and create the schedule and make sure, classes are performing well anyway, a lot to do with the schedule. We're always looking at formats and if they're working and the times and things like that. And right now things are really great and I have a really good team. Actually, right after Nick had his aneurysm, I was also in the process of applying for a position with the corporate end of the Pilates company I work for. It's called Body Bar Pilates. And so I was applying to become a master trainer right when Nick got so sick. And so I kind of had to put that on hold for a couple weeks because I was supposed to have my interview that week that he had surgery. So they were very gracious and understanding and said, anytime, take all the time you need. And that was kind of a turning point for my career because at the time, so I have taught a lot of things, like I said, but I was also running my own piano studio that I had for 10 years, and I taught group piano. Had a lot of classes and a lot of students, but it was too much with this full-time job. So I was trying to decide what to do, and when Nick got so sick, and I thought I was going to lose him, and just trying to think about how I would parent alone and how I would take care of the expenses and the needs of my family and also be a single parent, I knew that I needed to close my studio because it takes a lot of my after school hours. That's when I would teach, and that's
and just
if you're a parent, it's a prime time with your own kids too. So anyway, I made that decision and I have since closed my studio, and that made a way. I remember having the thought in my head that I was so sad because I didn't think I could do this master training position because it requires some travel, and I wasn't sure how I would do that as a single parent, and I felt real sadness over that. I realized that it was something I really wanted when I thought I was maybe not going to have it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been okay had I not been able to do it. But anyway, I did eventually have an interview and was hired. And so I've been working as a master trainer for Body Bar Pilates. So I also teach instructors at my studio and then also at other studios around the country. I've done just one on-site. Well, I've done 2 on-site trainings. One was in Salt Lake. I've had the job for about 4 months. And the training requires about 2 months of your time. So I'm hoping that I can do a few more before the year is out. I haven't been booked out for any at the time.
That would be lovely.
I'm finishing up my last half of this second training I've done next weekend. Anyway, it's really fun. I love it. I love teaching people. It's also hard work, but it's good. I love it. So I love my job and I love working. I don't mind. It's not a burden to me. I really enjoy what I do. I find a lot of joy and fulfillment in working. I also love being a mom. and love to be here for my kids. So my job allows me to do that as much as I need to. I have a really great team. It's taken a lot of work to get them there, and get the people that are great, find the right people, and training them. It took a lot of work to get there, but it's a great team. So I'm really happy about that. And I feel like I can breathe as a manager and rely on people to do what they are supposed to do, which is good. It is good. Yeah. Anyway, and Nick's looking for his next great thing.
Next great thing. I'm hoping we're doing it right now, but I'm not, quote, quitting my day job, which is looking for a day job.
Nick's a creative person. He needs an outlet for it.
I do. Truly, truly do. And as you all saw last week, 13 people. I was told that was an amazing amount of people for a first show. So I'm like, cool. I talked to a few people. They're like, yeah, I had 2. I had 4. They're like, you had 14? That's awesome. You have people who actually care about you. I said, well, that's sad.
Even though we couldn't hear anything, we were there.
It was such a mess. But I think we've got it all worked out. Things seem to be going really well.
We'll find out when we're done.
I guess so.
Do we have anyone that's asked any questions?
Yeah. Habib, or David, Habib, he was here last week. Those who saw it, David Barton. I think he does some of his own streaming here and there. But he was just commenting on our horrible air quality. He fully agrees with that. And then he was just saying, thank you for telling the story of my aneurysm. And we have a new follower who is Twinfach.
Welcome.
Sounds very German. I'm not quite sure if I'm even saying it right, but thank you and welcome to the show.
Welcome to our lives in America.
Next week, actually, there won't be a show. I have some things I need to do for, like Emily said, our religious community that I don't usually have on a Tuesday night, but next week I do. So we will pass on next week, but the week after we will get back to having our 3 guests, and it will be a surprise to even myself who that will be because we're so new. I've got this amazing list. If you guys know anybody who you think should be on the show, you'd like to hear from, they have a great story, or they're just a great conversationalist and they like the game, or even if they don't, we're going to make them do it anyway. As you guys saw last week with Dan. Thank him so much. He did such a good job. He had fun. So I don't feel too bad making him do it. But yeah, let me know. And we will just see if we can get them to come out. Cool. Oh my goodness. I just got really tired. All right, Emmy, what else is going on in our lives?
Hey, guess what?
Hey,
We're going to a conference for my work in a couple weeks, and I found out the theme. There's a theme.
Oh, the theme.
And there's costumes involved.
Again?
I'm pretty sure this is the thing.
All right,
I think this is going to be it every year.
Tell everybody what we did last year.
Well, last year the theme was, oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. The future. So I think one night we had to wear futuristic clothes. And so we went hardcore on Amazon.
Yep.
With I think I bought a white shiny wig. I think I still have that somewhere.
Well, see if you can incorporate it into this year's theme. Maybe it's...
No, I cannot.
Powdered wigs and...
Actually, maybe.
Betsy Ross or something. You can pull it back and make a flag. All right, what is the new theme?
The theme is prom.
Prom?
Yep, any decade you want.
Oh, I get to take my wife to prom. We never did that before.
So yeah, we got to dress up like a prom couple for at least one night. It's just one night. The whole conference has a theme and they'll intertwine it and make it fun. But the first night, there's like a social hour where everyone just mingles and dances, and that's when we'll wear costumes.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
What decade are we doing?
I don't know. I don't know. I have some of my 1 or 2 old prom dresses. Or did I finally get rid of them?
Oh, that's a good question.
I remember crying about it because my grandma made them.
I thought you kept your gold one. I thought you
I'm
kept your
pretty sure
grandma's.
even if they are around, they will not fit.
Well, let's hit the gym. Let's just end the stream and go right
It's
to
like
the
in
gym.
4 weeks, so probably not. But
Let's go right to the
whatever
doctor.
we can find at
Liposuction.
the secondhand shop will be the decade that we work in. So
Yes.
maybe
probably
you can
true.
find like a really cool tuxedo with like ruffles and stuff. That'd be it. Like an 80s vibe would be fun, or 70s even.
We'll probably find, I don't know. I mean, because like it was easy to find that kind of stuff
We're gonna
in
find
the
90s stuff.
Yeah, we're going to
or
find
like
90s
2000s
stuff.
suits.
Stuff that'll feel like right at home of what we would have worn to our actual proms.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I should do my hair in like multiple little mini claw clips and like pull it back with butterfly clips or something. That would be very early 2000s.
Go and get a Rachel haircut, A-frame.
Nope, I'm not cutting my hair.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to do that. Your hair, do what you want, but I would be
Anyway.
surprised if you put that much dedication into it.
It'd be funny to have like braces, fake braces or something.
That
Last
would be.
year, I had just gotten off my braces.
Oh, it was literally like a week before we went.
I was
we
so
flew out.
excited. Yeah, I didn't have braces last year at conference.
You were so
Anyway, so
fresh.
that's happening soon. We've got that to look forward to. We're going to Georgia
Georgia.
in the middle of September. It's going to be hot,
Ugh, deviling down to Georgia and,
And
melting Nick's
humid.
face.
but it will be fun. It's work, but it's also, we're
It's
going in a day
play.
early so we can have a little time to sightsee and just enjoy ourselves.
I've never been to Georgia.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else. I mean, we have Ian, who's our second son, who's moving out next Wednesday, and he'll be gone for 2 years. Oh no, I just had to give up. That's big. I'm proud of myself. I haven't cried once
What?
tonight
Okay.
while we have been playing.
While we've been playing, yes. I got a little emotional telling my story. Just my little PTSD from it, but I'm okay. But yeah, it's really scary sending a child off. We are so excited for him, but also terrified and nervous, and I don't know, so many feelings.
I just keep thinking of little 2-year-old Ian and my baby. And
Oh, I know.
it just feels like he's a man. He is a man. It's a great thing. These are all great things. Having the kids move out. How come this isn't doing anything?
Push up. Did you turn it on? The little switch on the bottom. The bottom.
The bottom?
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
There you go.
thank you.
Yep. There's
Oh.
Mario 1, 2, and 3 are the most popular, so they're right on top. And if you go to the bottom, you'll get to like PlayStation games and stuff like that. So
Well, I don't want those.
no.
Wait, what's that? What's this?
It's a Chinese ripoff emulator, so it's going to have some unlicensed things.
What the heck was that?
That was Kratos from God of War. Now you remember you have to push the start button to actually make it start.
Oh, like real?
Yeah, like real.
Like real Mario?
It's like real Mario. Oh, listen to that sweet music.
Now. Oh, wait, how do you jump?
Oh yeah,
It's
so
not
it's
A?
these two buttons up here are your B and A.
Aw.
Yeah, essentially your triangle and circle buttons.
Okay, so
It feels a
B
little
is
weird.
actually A and Y is actually B. That's helpful. Good job.
Gray is brown, orange is sauce.
I'm going to have to get used to this. So you're not going to see some very great playing here.
Hey, it looks pretty good to me so far.
Yeah. We just have school starting. That's always a big thing. I don't know. We've got lots of, oh my gosh. We've got
you
Nick's,
done?
oh, okay. I just want to get that. Come on, come on, come on.
Come on, give Mama that.
Why? It's just a coin, but I need it.
Give me your flipping coin.
Nick's birthday is in October. We have lots of birthdays in our family in the fall.
Especially
Like
September.
probably 10 to 12. I'd have to sit and count in September. And then
That's
Nick
so
is in
much.
October. We have a niece who's in October. Is this the warp zone?
Yes, it is.
And then our anniversary is also in October. October is always busy. We want to go on a trip with our 8-year-old son. With all of our boys done an 8-year-old birthday trip, and we haven't been able to do it this year with Bingham because it's been
a year
funerals and more funerals and then aneurysms and then unemployment. So we're trying to make something happen in October. I've been saving up flight points from all my travel for work so that we can hopefully do something with him. But we haven't planned it yet.
No.
That
But
was
if we
weak.
do...
I only got 400 on the flag.
That is so weak. You should be ashamed. So where are we going to go?
Well, we talked about Orlando.
Orlando.
We have family that's there, so we have a place
Spoiler
we can
alert.
stay. And we also, Bingham is a pretty avid Harry Potter fan. So we thought it'd be fun to maybe see if we could do Universal Studios because they have Harry Potter's Wizarding World there, as you know.
All right, we have a quick question from Special Ed, who I believe is Eric Davis from high school.
Oh.
He's saying he's glad I'm okay and asking how close to back to normal am I?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a very
Can
good
you answer
question.
that?
It varies.
Changes.
It really does. So mentally,
He's a mess.
I am a mess. I was going to say the exact opposite.
Oh, I'm just teasing.
You better be. Mentally, I feel pretty great. I still have some days where I get like super emotional. I get a little panic attacky because of the PTSD from the whole thing, which is something I never thought in a million years I would experience. But panic attacks are real. My very first one put me back in the hospital thinking I was having a second aneurysm. That was terrifying. But then once I was able to differentiate a panic attack from an aneurysm,
Because guess what? They feel the same.
They feel the
Except for
same.
one will kill you and the other one you won't die, but you think you
but
are.
you think you are.
All the other symptoms are the same.
Oh, it's just the worst.
For those of us who live lives with stress, we get it. But it was new to Nick.
It was so new to me.
Not with stress, with anxiety disorder.
And it was terrifying, and I thought I was dying again. Anyway, so once I was able to figure the difference out, the one really, really hurts, and the other not so much. But all the other symptoms are the same: the high blood pressure, the sense of dread, the wanting to pass out,
Increased
shaking
heart
hands,
rate,
raised
the
heart
sweating,
rate.
the faint feeling of faint.
So much. And now that we're 6 months out, I don't feel that near as much as I did. So it's been getting better. So mentally, I hope I feel I'm ready to get back to a full job. If I were to all of a sudden get a great job, I'd like to think that the stress wouldn't trigger anything crazy. Physically, they said don't rush anything. They're like, you can do your walking, you can do really light exercises, but pretend like you're in a tube. Basically meaning like I can
For a
do
year.
for at least a year. So I can do like things straight up and down. I can do curls, but I can't do anything wide. They're like, just don't even worry about, your push-ups, your pull-ups, flies. They're like, just
Lifting heavy weight overhead is a
Yeah.
no-no.
like
That's
just
actually, little known fact, once you're over the age of 40, that is actually kind of risky for anybody.
because we're old.
Well, yeah, and I forgot there's time.
Oh crap.
So
run.
yeah, anyway, just that increased weight. Oh, sorry.
Aww.
I can't do this and talk. Where's Tetris? Ah! Oh, and I'm not warping. Sorry.
Oh, you're playing serious
Anyway,
old school challenge.
we're just getting
mode.
old, you know? Like, you can still lift, obviously, but there is an increase of, it just puts more stress on your heart.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to, like, slap my microphone.
No, but we want less stress on my heart.
Yes.
So physically, it's a long road still ahead. I'm maybe 35% back. I don't have a lot of chest pain. It's, it's healing really well. Whoop.
Like bone structure pain?
Yeah, bone structure and the nerves are reconnecting, so they feel good. But like we were pulling weeds the other night, and we were with the young men. They came to our house before Ian's farewell to just help us clean up. We got a little behind in yard work because I haven't been able to get out there like I needed to while my wife is slaving away and earning the money. And like I reached down, just pulled some grass, and then all of a sudden I felt this massive pain go up the right side of my body. It's kind of gross. Everybody knows what a verp feels like. You get that kind of reflex feeling. It was kind of like that, only it was like
Explain what verp is.
half verp, half vomit.
Gross.
Burp vomit.
Vomit burp.
Yeah, a verp. So, but it was like deeper
I don't
inside.
think I knew what that was till I married you, by the way. You
There's
say
a lot of
everybody
things
knows what that
you
is.
didn't know.
I don't think I'd ever heard that term.
What?
No.
Well, not even in the girls' locker room. Like, oh, I'm just gonna burp.
Girls do not talk in the locker room. We are all just shielding our eyes, feeling self-conscious, wanting to get out of there as soon as possible.
No, boys are doing helicopters and things you don't even want to know about.
That's not how it works for girls. At least not when I was there.
Anyway, so I had that horrible verp feeling, but it was like really deep and like off to the right side, and then kind of came up the right side of my neck, and like it just felt really weird. And that's really just the normal now. It's just like the weirdest feelings I've never had. It's like, oh yeah, doctor's like, you're gonna have lots of things and they'll be unexplainable, but if you ever feel like you're dying, just come and see us. It's like, okay, coming down. But I also don't want to be the weird hypochondriac, 46-year-old. I had a weird little blip and now I gotta be in the ER. You just see people like that and you think they're so sad and pathetic, and I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Well, there's reasons that people worry.
I know there's reasons why people worry, and now that it's in, I don't know the difference if it's in my head or if I'm actually feeling something. But anyway, I sat down for a minute. Everybody stops what they're doing and looking at Brother Jacobs. They're like, you okay? You gonna die right here in front of us? All the kids are kind of freaking out, and I'm like, yes, look at the freak. I'm just
5,000
sitting here in my chair while you're all weeding my lawn. So it's been really humbling, really, to say the least. So 90% mental, feeling great, 30% physical, no rush to get back to the gym, but I've been doing some Pilates. I've done a couple things with Emily. She's eager to get me back on a reformer, and as soon as I can start lifting a little more weight, I'm excited to try and get back on track. I was actually down almost 20 pounds in December. Just got a new regimen, eating better, working out, feeling really good. And then, holidays get in the way, but I was still doing pretty well through those. And then the new year came around and it all went to pot. So that's me in a nutshell. Doing all right. I just look at, what's the alternative? I could be dead. So I will take life. I will take living. I'll take being another day with my family and my beautiful wife, sitting here playing games, and she's my awesome backup tonight when I didn't really have a show planned because of how busy we were, and grateful I have her. I'm going to have her on properly, probably with Heidi and Colin, her employers / our family members, because they're going to talk about what it's like to open a small business, especially a franchise business, and kind of the pros and cons, things that surprised them, things that were difficult, things they may have over sensationalized in their minds, and then things that are like, oh, that wasn't even that big of a deal. Every industry is a little different. So I want Emily's real professional insight on those things. Tonight we're just shooting the breeze and talking about life. So Emily will probably be a regular backup for me when people bail.
She sings, she dances.
Isn't she great?
Oh.
Well, not right now. You also remember you have lives.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be done real soon here.
We're just going to wrap this thing up. With running out of lives. Yeah, Gabe and I were playing, or Simon and I were playing it the other day. And I got a couple.
Mario?
Yeah. Oh, not Simon. Sorry, Bingham and I were playing it, and he like knew all the warp zones and stuff. I'm like, how do you know where these are? And I can't remember what he said, but I was like so surprised.
Yeah, he knows.
He does. I'm like,
He's played it on the Switch.
oh.
We have this on the Switch.
But who showed him the warp?
I don't know.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
How do I get out of this?
To pick another game.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a home button in the middle.
Mode?
Yeah, mode.
Exit?
There
What
you
does
go.
load state null mean?
You can save games like anywhere you want, which is kind of cool.
Huh.
But yeah, there you go. 3's the best. 3 was always the best.
I know. And I always wanted to be good at 2. But
2 is like when they're like, let's do something way weird that no one's expecting. And it still turned out to be a pretty fun game, but
I'm going to try it.
apparently it wasn't very popular when it came out amongst the Mario purists.
I always
such a
play
thing
with
for a
Princess
second game.
Peach, and she's kind of the worst because
No, she's got that float
yeah, but sometimes it's
super
annoying, you know?
just to watch some woman floating around like she owns the place.
No, sometimes you just want a slow or a fast jump. I hate
Isn't
that you have to
Toad?
go indoors. That annoys me. And like pull stuff up.
Don't make me
I
do
forgot this is an I forgot about this one. Okay. It just feels like it takes a long time.
Stuff. Yeah. It's a really, really long game.
And you got to get right on the plant to pull it.
I can't remember. There's like no overworld and stuff, right? It's just like
Oh, you could power jump.
oh,
Oh, no what?
like no map, like picking worlds and stuff. You got to play through it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like no, I mean I guess that's how the first one is. No, I'm not being
Yeah,
stupid.
the door.
Overworld didn't exist till number 3. 3 health? So weird. You could have got that dark cherry too.
Oh, well, sorry.
Extra bonus.
How are you
cherry
playing your
juice.
game and giving me tips?
I can see your screen over here, but I can see it actually twice. I can see a little teeny one in my webcam, but I also have your feed up here, which is very cool.
I know, but how do you pay attention to it? That's my question.
Well, I just stopped playing my game for 10 seconds. But what am I doing?
Where do I have to take this? Isn't there a place?
You just drop it and it kills everybody
I
on
know,
the
but
screen.
wasn't there a specific place you wanted to do it?
I'll do it right in there.
Okay. Ah!
Not there. I do know that.
Oh.
Oh, oh, I hate dying.
Oh, I hate dying.
For those of you listening, Bingham has this
No,
adorable
no.
little friend. His name is Lucas, and he gets so excited about simple things like Dr. Pepper, anything else. But he always starts with, oh, oh,
I love that.
oh, I love that. Oh, I want to go there.
He's a cool kid.
He is a very cool kid, but we quote him all the time just with that little saying because it gets us stoked too. Loves life. You know, I see you playing that game and it takes me back to when I was about that age.
Well, where's the mushroom? You get it once and then you're out of luck?
I don't know.
Well, it's not there,
Maybe you
so
can only
that
get
is...
it once per playthrough.
Yeah,
or
that's
one-
it. I have to totally die and live another world.
That's right. You missed it. So sorry.
There.
I'm gonna go see what's in that thing. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. It's faster to go here for anyone
I feel like
watching.
there's like a star that pops up soon.
Or the helm. I thought it was one of those. No, it's not one of those. I don't remember anything. You would think the muscle memory and playing hundreds of hours of this game as a kid would
Heart.
so desperately needed. Hey, no time limit though.
Yeah. Oh!
It's a good thing there's no time limit. You still have lives, though. Remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
Just keep forgetting what button is jump. Because, muscle memory.
Muscle memory. All right. What were we talking about before we got all sidetracked?
I don't know.
I don't either. I've just got...
We were talking about what we're doing this fall.
Oh, yeah. With Little Bingo. I think he's not going to care. I think he's going to miss
Yeah, he said the other day he wants to go to Yellowstone.
Again?
In the fall and see what it's like in the fall. And I actually have heard it's really cool in the fall.
Yeah, things just blow up and kill you.
No.
We barely missed that explosion for our listeners.
I mean,
it was like 2 weeks.
Not barely.
Yeah, and we didn't even go to that particular thing. We barely missed the excitement of being there when it happened.
Yes.
Being around.
We missed the traffic jam. There's got to be something. Oh, come on, man.
But we were amazed at how little traffic we actually ran into. There was very little.
We were there on the 4th of July weekend too.
Yeah.
So that was kind of crazy.
Every attraction had hundreds and hundreds of people, but we just
never got stuck in a traffic jam.
Yeah, we just got it planned out so well that we never got stuck. It was pretty cool. So I guess just the traffic angels were on our side because it was pretty random that.
There wasn't a lot of we didn't see a lot of wildlife.
No, hardly any.
We saw lots of what were those thingies?
With the face and the fur.
Elk?
Not really. I wouldn't say a lot.
Well,
Is
what
that
was
you're
the
talking
thing we
about?
saw?
There was mule deer. We did see a couple elk. And that was really it.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for nothing, sir.
You did nothing.
I have to wait till it's flashing? Aww.
Special Ed's following. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Are you struggling?
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling. Not gagging on
All
my
right, I'm not
face.
even going to bother. I don't remember what that door is, but it's not in my wheelhouse anymore.
It's nothing good.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was, but sorry.
Whoa. You love playing on the edge.
Wait, why did it end so quick?
It's on that is on a timer.
Yeah, but I felt like it needed to finish the song.
Come on, finish the song. Just got to the good part. Oh my goodness. All right.
What time is it?
It is time to click the ending soon button. Because we
So
really
what time is it?
That means it's 8:52. It means I put out a little thing that says the stream is ending soon. So it'll be on the recording. So our listeners know, if I got any last minute questions, I better throw it out there. Because I'm dying to know.
What do you want to know?
What do you want to know? Huh?
We won't answer everything you ask, but we might answer something you ask.
What the heck is this? I've never even been down here. This
Oh, come on. Oh. You know who's really good at this game is my sister Rachel.
She was the queen of...
We would sit and watch play for hours because she could go and go and go. I do not want to retry. Or continue. No, tell both of those, please.
That's a hard pass. All right. So where am I going?
Oh, Dr. Mario. That's almost like Tetris.
Oh man, we used to play that all the time. Actually, remember we had that on the Nintendo at United Media, and you and I'd hang out there and eat food and play Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I don't remember that at
you
all.
Don't?
No. It's all in Chinese.
Yes, it is. There is an English version in there somewhere, but good luck finding it. You
What
don't
is
really
the
need
point
to
of
read
this?
that.
Do you line up the colors?
Yeah, you line up the colors. And then things will drop and fall into place once they are removed.
What?
Yeah, so put that yellow right on top of that on the little goober guys. Not that one.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me my business, devil woman.
I'll figure it out, or we won't, and I'll sit here and
just mess
try.
Oh, don't cry. Oh,
Try. I said try, not cry. Am I supposed to kill those little things?
Yeah, you got to kill the germs. You're a doctor. It's what you do.
That's what these pills are for.
Well,
what if I put the wrong color on the germ?
Then it's not going to clear. There you go. See, then it falls.
Oh, so now I got to go red. Oh,
Yes.
crap.
Now it's coming back to you. If it weren't in China or Japanese, you'd know just what to do.
Nah, that has nothing to do with it.
Oh, yeah, so I'm really glad Destiny's kind of over because this last expansion was really cool. And then they just kind of kept it going. And it's like, really? I mean, 10 years. This thing's been going on for 10 years.
Did someone just ask that, or did you just decide to talk about that?
I wanted to talk about it. I'm excited to get to other games. I've been playing it so much.
You could stop anytime.
No, I can't. I can put it down anytime,
It's your
I swear.
choice, sir.
Seriously. So, Habib wants to know, what happened to that house you were going to build? Tell us, Emily, what happened to that house?
The house?
The one in our backyard?
Oh, boy. Well, okay. Wait, who's asking this?
David.
Oh, here's what happened. We had an architect draw up plans, and then it was like $500,000 just to build the house.
500. That is double what we paid for our actual
house. A lot more than what we paid for our house. Granted, the real estate market is different, but it's not a good investment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It also means that, if our parents end up needing to be back there, we're stuck with our parents being back there.
Oh my gosh, that's not why.
I'm teasing.
We just didn't want to put that much money into it. If it had been something we could have done more of done our own work on. Gosh, I'm real tired. Don't even know what I just said. If we could have done most of the work ourselves, but we were looking at hiring a contractor, and it just was out of our price range.
So expensive.
Now we have a really nice shed. We had a shed put back there to replace the one that was destroyed.
And a gazebo.
By the wind. Yeah, we built a gazebo.
We turned it into more of an entertaining backyard than a living space, which would have been awesome. Would have been a good investment, but
just wasn't in the cards.
We didn't have a way to get $500,000 and have 2 mortgages, and the second one being double the price of our current mortgage.
How do you turn these?
So it'd be like having 3 mortgages essentially with the price. So that's what happened to it. It stinks. But yeah, that's life. Anyway, well, we're wrapping up. We've got 2 more minutes here. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. We have 4 viewers, and not quite what we had last week, but that's okay. There was a lot of excitement, and we had a lot of people, I think, who were here to see our guests. David and Cassandra were fantastic. I do still owe Cassandra an apology, just because of the technical issues, but it looks like everything's going pretty smoothly. I had a lot of things I had to change, getting Twitch set up, that you just kind of expect things to work in this day and age. It's like you go live, you just expect it to work. But there are a lot of weird little settings you got to go through and enable. So I did a lot of research, looked into that, and it looks like it worked out pretty well.
Should just have them back again.
Yeah, I really think I should. We heard, I salvaged a lot of it and got it posted, but at least have Cassandra come out, and David can be a silent gamer type, and we'll put him on the couch, and we'll have somebody else speaking where Dan would be. But yeah, it would be great. It would be great to have her out again, and go from there. But anyway, Emily, I love you. You're the best.
Thanks, honey. I love you too.
Thank you for being my co-host tonight.
I haven't played this long of video games in a while. You're welcome.
It's been a wonderful experience.
It has been fun, but I'm really bad at this game.
No, you're playing Bingham style.
Sorry,
You're about to
Mario.
win.
That's right.
Oh, you did. See, that's what that says.
That's what that frowny face guy says.
You win. And he's like, how are we going to pay her all the money for her championship win?
Oh, this is American healthcare? You're just going to lose no matter what.
Yes, you are.
What are all these
All
kids?
right. Well, that ends our stream. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
You are all amazing. Bye-bye.